Animals often get in trouble, and sometimes accepting help from humans is their only way to survive. Thankfully, there are plenty of people in this world who are ready to lend a hand to their furry friends. Watch our video to see for yourself. This wild elephant was in so much pain it went right up to the wildlife doctors to get help. How the animal knew they would help is a mystery. Doctors hit the elephant named Pretty Boy with a tranquilizer dart. And when he was down, removed the bullet stuck in its head that, luckily, didn't penetrate the skull. Grateful to get the bullet out and some pain relief, Pretty Boy then took a nap on a tree. This dog hasn't eaten anything in 5 days and was hiding behind the dumpsters, and when people finally managed to get the dog, they saw it was covered in thousands of mites. This chain was broken. It appears that the dog ran away from the owners who let it get this bad. Kind women brought the dog to a clinic where it took several hours to remove the parasites. The dog also had an injection that would help get rid of mites. Afterwards, this good girl was taken home where the battle continued. The authors of the video named the dog Jessie, and they hope that she has a long and happy life ahead of her. And now check out another case. This nursing mother is in doubt. Should she ask for help from the humans? But after some time, she decides she can trust them. She led the people to her hungry pups who had no chance of survival without their help. Initially, the mother was acting protective over her babies, so the rescuers distracted her with food. The puppies were finally saved. And now they all have a new home. Squirrels are very cheeky animals, especially when it comes to nuts. Just look at this squirrel grabbing his food. And this little squirrel paid several visits to the back door of the author of this video. Once it figured out it can get some peanuts from there. And although it was acting cautious at first, later in the video, the squirrel's fear is replaced by enthusiasm. And this is Chito, a Costa Rican fisherman. He's famous for saving a croc named Pocho over 30 years ago when the latter was dying from a bullet wound. Pocho only weighed 150 pounds at the time, and as Chito treated him and fed him chickens and fish, the crocodile grew to 1,000 pounds. The crocodile ended up living with the man. 10 years later, Pocho taught Chito these tricks. And this man carefully gave water to a monkey which was suffering in the scorching heat and came to him for assistance. Later, they were joined by the monkey's friend, who didn't go unnoticed either. In China, cat sterilization levels are very low, which often causes people to abandon kittens. These people saw someone throw away a litter of kittens into a river. Hearing a cat crying for help, they rushed over to look for the source of the sound and found the only kitten that managed to survive. People brought the exhausted and hungry baby cat home and named him Peach. And this old man risked everything to save his beloved cat from their burning home. This story has a happy ending though. The authorities found housing for the pensioner and they both settled in their new home. There is no life without water. When they are thirsty, animals seek help from humans, breaking down all stereotypes. Even if the animal in question is a venomous snake or a tiny baby bird. Just look at the way this carp asks a person for food, and it's not afraid to take the food straight from their hands. and this little homeless kitten loudly cried for help. When he was heard by humans, it was given a second chance at life. This lonely little fox also put its trust in people, knowing that it wouldn't survive without them. Just look at these touching moments when the fox approaches a person begging for help. And here's what happens after a while. And this fox cub got hopelessly stuck in a net, but the author of this video came to its rescue. It took a lot of effort to free it from the trap.
We'll see in a minute.
But watch this. In the final moments, it stopped for a second to glance at its savior. What might that mean? Unfortunately, that's not the only occasion when a fox gets tangled in a net.
Yeah.
Damage.
Well done.
Out, but let's just see what sort of damage I've come on to you. There he goes. Yeah, it's working.
And now a video I simply couldn't pass by. Brown Bear Volley just rescued a drowning crow in the Budapest Zoo. Just let that sink in. A bear rescued a crow. It heard the bird crying for help and showed kindness by freeing the bird and pulling it to dry land. It looks like even the crow is struggling to believe what just happened. And this crowd gathered here to rescue a baby elephant. It fell into a culvert when it was crossing the road with its mom. The calf was calling for help until it was discovered. And now the whole village is trying to pull the elephant out. And just so you can understand the severity of this situation, an excavator was involved. But the most striking thing about it is how calm the calf is, trusting its saviors. And this brown bear got in big trouble, having fallen into a well. People heard its pleas for help and lowered a ladder. Just watch how masterly it makes its way up to the top. It's no surprise that the scientists concluded that bears' mental capabilities are much higher than that of other animals, and sometimes their behavior resembles human behavior. And this is a retired bricklayer and his best friend, a penguin. 10 years ago, the man found it fully covered in oil and nursed it back to health. After this rescue, the penguin returns to its friend's house every year and stays in the backyard while the other penguins of its species are mating.
Oh my God!
And this sea turtle almost fell prey to a tiger shark when it saw a fishing boat and desperately tried to get closer to it. The turtle understands there's its salvation. And it was right. The fishermen waited for the shark to loosen its grip, just long enough for them to make their move. Did you know that the rhinoceros horn is worth more than cocaine or diamonds? That's why these poor animals die en masse at the hands of poachers. Thankfully, there are people who hear the cries for help and do what they can to get the rhinos out of trouble. For example, these people saved 4 suffering animals by giving them medicines and regularly changing their bandages.
Look, up in the sky, it's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's a rhino. But what is it doing in the sky? Turns out that's how wildlife conservationists transport 15 rare black rhinos from Eastern Cape to a reserve in South Africa, in order to expand their diminishing population. Because of the poachers, there are only 5,000 black rhinos left in the world. And this abandoned yet friendly puppy met some kind people and followed them home. Today, it got lucky. People let it into the house, where it found a wonderful new family. And this dog fell into a beaver lodge and was crying for help. The rescue team spent over 2 hours to dig out Lucky. This goose was found with a broken beak, most likely as a result of a wild dog attack. The goose couldn't eat, became underweight, and so it put its trust in doctors and 3D designers who created a beak prosthesis for it. This adorable little parrot also lost its beak, but humans gave him a second chance by creating a plastic prosthetic. And this toucan bird lost its original beak after some monsters beat it up with sticks. But thankfully, there were kind people that donated thousands of dollars to make a beak prosthetic for this bird. People are undoubtedly a negative influence in various contexts, so it's nice to see them doing something good for those who can't help themselves. Love animals, and be sure to subscribe to our channel. There's lots of interesting content ahead.